Hi everyone, welcome back to Bake Your Way Kitchen. On today's video we are going to do a beef casserole pasta dish and I am using crème fraiche, and I know that might sound unusual, crème fraiche in a savory dish, but trust me when I say this, it's going to be delicious. And so we'll just get going. You'll notice here I've got a bunch of different pastas here. I was using up the last bit of pasta in my house. I love when I get to finally use things up in the cupboard versus having to go out to the store to buy new ingredients. It really makes me feel like I'm really, I'm making sure that I'm using everything that I buy. So I've got about 500 grams of pasta there, just over a pound. And right here I've sliced up 2 medium-sized onions, a few cloves of garlic, and 1 large pepper. I've got about 1.5 pounds of ground beef here, and this is a local hormone and antibiotic-free. I'm really into the local hormone-free, good quality meats now, especially with all the stuff coming out about certain things in the meat industry. I've got a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Ugh, I can never say that word. And then I've got a bunch of spices here. I got salt, pepper, basil, oregano, red hot chili pepper flakes. I'll put it all down in the description. You can kind of decide. It's really up to your liking. Those little seasonings you can adjust to the way you want it. What I got here is a bit of chicken stock, which I'm going to be boiling. I'm going to put some chicken stock in with my boiling water to add a bit of seasoning, and we'll put some in the actual dish. And I have a white wine, and we're going to put that in a bit later. And it's got a bit of a funny name, cat's pee on a gooseberry bush. I know, it's very funny. I don't know where it came from. You're also going to need 2 other ingredients. You're going to need, the crème fraiche is here, by the way. You're also going to need 2 other ingredients. You're going to need Parmesan, and you are also going to need a little bit of tomato paste, but I'll show you that later. In the meantime, I've got a couple tablespoons of oil, and I'm really into sunflower oil now. I really recommend you check out sunflower oil. It's great. It's a good alternative to olive oil. So I've got a big skillet with high sides here, and I've got the olive oil, so now I'm going to bring it over to the stove, let it heat up, and then I'm going to add in my onions, peppers, and garlic, and just saute them for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then we'll go ahead and add in the beef. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Alright, so I've been letting the vegetables saute all together for a few minutes, and you just want them to sweat out and develop some color in the oil. And so now what we're going to do is add in our ground beef. Some people do this separately, but it's not necessary. So you can add in your beef. The amount you could really vary it. I would say anywhere between 1 pound and 1.5 pounds would be okay. So once you add it in, just try to break it up as best you can. As it cooks, it'll become easier. And I can just tell, you can tell, I don't know if you can see well from this camera, but you can tell when you have good quality meat. It's just how it feels, but not just how it feels, but the color, like it just, it's really, and it's going to be probably a lot tastier. I haven't had this variety. It's a new local brand that I'm trying. So I'm going to continue to break this up, and basically you want to continue to cook all this until the meat has browned. So that'll take probably 5 or 6 minutes at least. So I'm going to continue cooking. I'm going to raise the heat a bit, because one thing you want to do when you add in the vegetables, you want to lower the heat so you don't get too much smoke going everywhere. So I'm going to raise the heat a bit, break this meat up, and then when it browns, I'll show you the next step. So my meat has browned, and it smells delicious, but we haven't even added in our seasonings yet, which we are going to do right now. So I would just lower the heat once it's browned, and it's all broken up. You can add in your seasonings, and you can take a look down below, and Worcestershire sauce, or however you want to call it. You're going to add that in with the wine. And the wine will reduce, so don't panic. We're using about 1/2 cup. And this is just going to add some complexity to the dish, add a bit more flavor. And I've boiled my water with the salt and a dollop of chicken broth for an added flavoring. And so you're just going to pour that in and boil it till it's al dente. You can do it till it's a little bit undercooked because we are going to be putting this in a 350 degree oven, 180 degrees Celsius, which you can preheat now. So you want to do it till al dente. So now I've done that. We've added in the wine, we've added in the seasoning for this. So what we're going to want to do next is just let this cook for a few more minutes while the pasta cooks. So just while our pasta's cooking, I'm going to add in a cup of cheese. You can use any cheeses you want. I'm going to do a Parmesan here to really get a nice rich flavor. And I'm also going to add in a bit of chicken stock because just to loosen it up a bit. You can add in as much or as little as you want. We're just going to continue to cook this for an additional, once you've added those two things in, you're going to want to partially cover it for about 10 minutes, and then we will add in our pasta. I'm just going to add about a tablespoon or so, maybe a little more, of tomato paste. And it will develop a bit of a tomato flavor, but mainly it's going to just thicken this up. And it's going to be delicious. So I've added that in. I already noticed it's thickening even more than it was after I've given it that 10 minutes. So now the beauty. We are going to add in our crème fraiche. Oh my gosh, wait till you see this. This is over the top. So I've turned this off. We're going to add in our crème fraiche right now. Okay, you can see it's really thick. Whoa. So this is about a cup of crème fraiche that I got here. I'm going to mix this in. Oh my goodness. This is heaven. Oops, somehow this turned off. So that's good. Now we are going to add in our delicious pasta. Alright, so I've now added in my pasta. You can see this is a huge dish, so you might even want to consider, I'm having a bunch of people over, so that's why I'm doing it very big, but you can cut this in half easily and it wouldn't be a problem. It smells incredible. I wish you guys were all here. And it's pretty much come together. So I'm going to just show you the next step. We're going to be putting this in, I'm going to be putting this in a very large casserole dish because it will need it. There we go. It's looking fantastic. So I'll just be back when I put it in the casserole dish. Now I'm going to put this in, just so you know, I did actually end up adding the entire small little can of tomato paste. I just really thought it could use a bit more thickening, and I really liked the flavor it was developing. I'm just going to take one of these off. So now it's about pouring this thing in without making a mess, which I will attempt to do right now. So I got a big, large casserole dish. You want to make sure you get absolutely everything. All of that is goodness. All this is good flavor. And there we go. So now we just spread it out. And if it wasn't decadent and rich enough, well, I've got news for you. Don't. You won't be disappointed because we have to have our breadcrumb topping. And yes, I've taken a little bit of oregano, a little bit of melted butter, and breadcrumbs, probably 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs to about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, and then a dash of oregano. We're just going to spread this over the top and put this in our oven for about 30 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes, till it's bubbly and it develops a nice golden brown color. So there you go. So this is going to go in our oven, and I will show you what it looks like once it's done. Thanks for watching.